to show you TimberScan. We only have 15 minutes, so I'm going to kind of breeze through this pretty quickly. But TimberScan is a document and image management system which we designed to allow users to create a paperless office. One of the key features of our system is the ability to automate the AP approval, routing, and management system. That's what we were known for. That's what we originally created. And now, recently, we've expanded our product so that we not only handle the AP approval, but we handle any kind of documents and images that you want to create for a paperless environment. One of the things that's significant about TimberScan is that our program was designed specifically for TimberScan, or Sage 300 CRE as it's now called. We've been doing this since 2004. It's been a tremendous success. We have over 850 companies using TimberScan and over 15,000 users. Now, the main elements of automation are AP invoices, and usually that's the main pain point for most companies. So we handle the scanning and routing and coding and approval of AP invoices. In conjunction with that, we also handle supporting documents that help with the AP approval process. So those could be receiving tickets, packing slips, purchase orders, manifests, lien waivers, any documents that help with the approval process. Those can be automatically attached to the various invoices so that the approver has a complete packet of everything that's pertinent to approve the invoice. We also handle all other types of documents. So if it's contracts, drawings, property management documents, leases, insurance documents, any other type of documents, we handle those as well. So from the AP approval side, TimberScan automatically routes it to the right approver. It supports multiple approval levels. So you set up your routing rules, and then it automatically routes. So if you need multiple approvers, it handles that. It handles that even with dollar thresholds. So if a secondary approver, a third approver wants to only see invoices that are greater than X number of dollars, that's easily handled. It also automatically notifies approvers when there's new invoices to approve. The best way of thinking of TimberScan is as a separate pending approval system. So invoices are scanned in TimberScan, the data entry is done in TimberScan, the approvals are done in TimberScan, and when the invoice is approved, they flow into Timberline so that you can pay them. Now, what's significant about TimberScan is that data entry in TimberScan is exactly the same as data entry in Timberline. Same lookups, same warnings, same error messages, same distribution grids. What this means to you is that your AP people are 95% trained. We also have a dashboard to improve efficiency, and we have exceptional reporting that not only shows the invoices in Timberline, but also all the documents, the invoices that are still in the approval process. We handle all the supporting documents, as I mentioned earlier, receiving tickets, packing slips, lien waivers, and the module that expands TimberScan to be a full paperless system is our advanced image module, which allows you to create user-defined document types, document categories, and indexes. The indexes are linked to Timberline, so it's easy to code, and the invoices, once they're retrieved, flow into a secure vault. There's security on the invoices to make sure that sensitive documents can only be seen by the right people. Tremendous flexibility when it comes to searching, completely linked with Sage, and easy retrieval from either inside of Timberline or inside of Sage. This is the workflow. We acquire the images, we classify them, we distribute them, we store them, and we route them. So that's the workflow for regular images. For AP images, our workflow is all based on batch processing. The foundation of our workflow is your business rules. So invoices get scanned in TimberScan. We have an optional capture module which will actually read the invoices, they'll OCR the invoices and extract the data and autofill data entry, which we're happy to show you as well. Once the invoices are scanned, if it goes to capture, they're 90% coded already. If not, it's the normal coding that you do in Timberline right now, but you do it in TimberScan. Once the invoices are coded or partially coded, they get routed to the approvers. The approvers go through the approval process and it flows into Timberline. So that's basically how TimberScan works. Now I'm going to go into the software itself. The first thing that you're going to do with TimberScan is get the images in the system. This is the TimberScan main menu. So we call that Acquire Image. So with Acquire Image, you can scan invoices. TimberScan controls the scanners. It sees the scanners that you have. If you have a network scanner, that's fine. Many of our clients use their photocopy machine. Now, if an invoice comes in via email, you don't have to print and scan it. You can simply drag that invoice into TimberScan. I have an invoice on my desktop, but normally you would just drag that out right out of Outlook. So you just drag and drop it in, click on Open, and it opens up that image. Now, when the invoices are in TimberScan, you can control the size of the image just by using the wheel on the mouse. And as this invoice came in from an email that the vendor sent. So when I review this invoice and when I go to page 2, I notice that the vendor actually sent 2 separate invoices in one email. So to tell the system that page 2 is not page 2 of invoice 1, but is in fact a separate invoice, all you do is click on Mark as New. Now TimberScan knows there's 2 invoices. You click on Process, and then the invoices flow into data entry. So the next step in this process is data entry. I'm going to go in to the data entry process and show you how that works. So here is my invoice. I can size this invoice by using the wheel on the mouse. If my data entry operators have 2 monitors, I can separate the data entry from the invoice. If they only have 1 monitor, no problem. I can just see it at the bottom here. Now, as I mentioned before, data entry in TimberScan is exactly the same as data entry in Timberline. So by clicking on List, I see my vendor list right out of Timberline, and I can choose the vendor that this relates to. When I type in my invoice number, it checks for duplicate invoice. If there's a duplicate invoice, it tells me, and I can simply delete that invoice. Put in my amount of invoice. And now my distribution grid pops up. So the distribution grid and the header grid are exactly the same as what I get in Timberline. Now, if my grid looks different than what you're used to, that's only because this reflects how my Timberline database is set up. It's always going to be exactly what you see in Timberline. And that's a huge benefit because your AP people are used to coding it in a certain way, and because TimberScan replicates Timberline, they're going to be very comfortable making the transition. Now, if you use commitments, obviously, when you click on the commitment list, it's going to show all the commitments for the vendor. And if there's any insurance warnings, it's going to tell you. And if it's a 1-line commitment, it's going to code it. If it's a multiple-line commitment, obviously, you can choose the lines you want to code. But what's significant about TimberScan and commitments is that with TimberScan, not only does it tell you what the total committed cost is and what's been invoiced, but more importantly, it tells you what the approvers haven't approved yet against that commitment. And if this invoice brings you over your committed value, you know about it the day it comes in the door. Huge benefit. If the invoice is not on a commitment, you can code it. to a job or to a property, and again, the coding exactly like Timberline, with one major exception. With TimberScan, if you're not sure of a cost code or a category or a GL account code, you can leave it blank. And then the approver can complete the coding. So what we've created is we've created a collaborative system that really helps in efficiency. Our clients tell us that with TimberScan, their approval process is 50% faster. It cuts half the time out on average. Other things that you can do at the data entry level is if you do track supporting documents like receiving tickets and packing slips and manifests and lien waivers, you can scan them and categorize them to either a commitment or to a vendor job. And when you view these, they're pre-filtered to the job. So I'm just going to open this up a little bit so you can see that it's pre-filtered to the job. So it's only showing receiving tickets and purchase orders that relate to the vendor job you're working on. So you can have hundreds of supporting documents, but it's only going to show the ones that are pertinent to the job you're working on right now. And then you can select the document, and then your approver is not only going to have the invoice, but they're also going to have the document as well. Once you're done with this, you can accept the invoice and go to the next invoice, code it. You can skip an invoice, and once it's done, it's going to route to the right approver. Oops. So let me just minimize that. And then I can sign on as an approver. So as an approver, I have the invoices, and I can start approving invoices. So the approver will see the invoices that I have. Any notes that accounting has put in will automatically show up. So they can see the notes. So I know that Jennifer emailed the vendor about their expired insurance. I know that the insurance hasn't come in yet. And here's my invoice at the approval level, ready for coding. So it found the right approver because it knows that this approver is for this job. And now I can just simply, the approver can just simply code it. If they know the cost code, they can type it in, or they can go into the system and code the invoice, put in the cost code. And if they're okay with approving this invoice, they can approve it. If not, they can skip it, or they can put it on hold. And they can also put comments and notes on the invoice. There's a sticky note capability, so you can put a sticky note on there and put comments and notes in. You can even, as an approver, if an invoice is coded, you can see what it's coded to and what the costs are, what the budget is, what's been approved, what's still in TimberScan. You can even have job cost reports coming right out of the system. Once it's gone through the approval process, it's going to go to the next approver, next approver, next approver. And once it's gone through the approval process, it flows into Timberline. So in Timberline, you can see the information if you're either in job cost, AP, GL, or project management. So if I go into AP, for example, and I run an AP inquiry, let's say I run an AP transaction inquiry, here's my vendor list. And if I'm looking, say, for Baldwin Paint, here I'm at the invoice level, and TimberScan automatically creates a paperclip here with all the invoice detail. So what TimberScan does is, as this invoice flows through the organization, it's going to show you the invoice. It's going to create a stamp for everyone that's processed that invoice. So Jennifer scanned it, so created a receive stamp with date and time. She did the data entry, John approved it, and Mary posted it into Timberline. Here's my proof of order, and we even have the ability to scan checks and automatically attach them to the right invoice. So everything you need to know, it creates a packet of all the pertinent information. Everything you need to know is either in TimberScan where you can run a report and see it, or in Timberline when you drill down to the invoice level. Now, with our A module, you can also see additional information that is not just invoice related. So if I want to look at a specific vendor, for example, let's say I want to look at A1 Electric, I can see all the documents for A1 Electric. So if I need to look up their W-9 or their insurance certificate, it's right there. Same thing with job cost or property management or project management or payroll. Any documents that are associated with information in Timberline will automatically pop up. So if I go into job costs, for example, and let's say I want to see a commitment, I can go in and I can open up the list of commitments, bring up the commitment I'm interested in, and here's my document on that commitment. So that's how AIM works. It'll automatically categorize the documents and attach them if they're pertinent to that specific commitment. So, so when I coded that, I coded it right to that commitment. So those are some of the things that TimberScan does. There's so much more that I can show you, but I think I'm pretty much out of time. So probably the best thing for you to really see TimberScan is every week we have seminars, and you can sign up for our seminars by going to our website, just timberscan.com, sign up for our seminars, or you can contact either Sandra or myself. This is Sandra's phone number, to get additional information. So we'd be happy to see you at a seminar and take you through the software. If we've got another minute or two, I just want to see if anyone has questions before we wrap this up.
Yes, Bernard, we have a little bit of time.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? I didn't show you the reports. There's like a ton of wonderful reports in the system. I didn't show you how to enter contract or insurance certificate or any of that stuff. There's a lot to show you, but obviously in 15 minutes I can only give you kind of an overview. Any questions before we wrap this up? Well, I thank you all for your time, and hopefully we'll see you at one of our seminars. So just go to our website, timberscan.com, and sign up for a webinar. We have them 2 a week, and we'd be happy to show you the product in detail. And thank you for your time.